Shalom, family, shalom. It's the Hebrew Life again. I'm Bay Jerusalem, and I'm back with another lesson. We're gonna call this one We We Are Not Alone. Return of Judah, return of the seed of David, return of the sons of David. Man, I was chilling with my aunt last night, man. We was chilling out, drinking some wine, and we was watching something, man, and I ended up stumbling upon something that I already knew, but it gave me more clarification. You know, when I first came up in this truth, the camps always said, the Hebrew Israelite camps, a lot of them always said, oh, we don't deal with the Africans, and they stinky, and they had all the stigmata towards the Africans, even though the scriptures say, thou shalt not hate an Egyptian, for you are a stranger in his land. So it was weird to me, that they wasn't following the scriptures when it says don't hate the Egyptians because they let us in their land. I was weird that they had all this hate towards the Africans, but I always knew in my heart that they couldn't possibly have snatched everybody, all of the Hebrews up during the transatlantic slave trade. I knew that, possibly they could have left a lot of Hebrew Israelites in the culture, in the land of Africa, who never was took, and we're going to get into that when we go into Isaiah 11:11 later on in this video. But, I knew that I knew I had brothers and sisters still over there, and it all started making sense to me, when I stumbled upon this video. We was watching, you know what I'm saying? I knew this, I knew our brothers was over there. But this video I stumbled upon, man, I got to share it with the family today, It's real powerful, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be, It's going to be the same type of lesson, but we gonna get into it, though. First, I'm going to read 1 Kings. I'm going to start in chapter 9, but we're going to get into chapter 10, because this lesson is about, the sons of David, King David and King Solomon, and how our bloodline still lives on today, and how we still suffer from the curses today, whether our people are in Africa and Ethiopia, or whether they're in America, in a city in America, or whether they, China. It don't really matter where the seed of Israel go. It seems like these curses follow us, and if we don't reverse this curse as a people and as a nation, then we're going to continue to see the Most High's words passing through. So we're going to get into this, I'm going to flip the screen later, but first we're going to read this, you know what I'm saying? No, we're going to play the video first. We're going to play the video first, then we're going to read the scripture, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm about that action, and I need y'all to see this. Okay, I'm going to set it up. Is that too close? Yeah, that is too close. Shout out to everybody in the room watching, man. Y'all finna get amazing lesson today, man. I'm telling you. Trying to get the screen right so y'all can see everything. All right, that should be good enough. We're gonna try to line the screen up. Okay, the name of the video, if y'all's looking at the screen, I'm on YouTube. I done typed in Falasha Jews. We're going to pick up the phone so y'all can see this clearly. I done typed in Falasha Jews. I was looking into the Israelites in Africa. I always been interested in, I stumbled upon some good videos, but the main video I stumbled upon was this video. It's called Falasha, the Agony of Beta Israel, Black Jews. Now, this video was dropped about 9 months ago. All praises, shout out to whoever dropped it. I can't even read that language for whoever dropped it, but as you see, it only has around 350 views. You know what I'm saying? And the information that's published in this video, I'm pretty sure everybody has seen this picture before online with the brothers holding the scroll of the Torah. This video only has 350 views, but you know what I'm saying? Y'all finna get get a schooling on what's going on over here. I'm gonna play the video. We're gonna get into it.
Could have saved the black Jews, but
We're
did
gonna
not.
get into it. As y'all see, this video been out. This information ain't new. This ain't no new information. What's going on? Devil playing games. We're gonna refresh it.
Could have saved the black Jews, but did not. Defeated in...
Our trek through the valley took 10 hours.
Alright, fam, y'all up. Y'all hold
Could have saved
fast.
the black Jews, but did not.
Lots of time trying hard. You know what I'm saying?
Defeated in battle 400 years ago, deprived of the right to own land, the black Jews of Ethiopia were labeled Falasha, strangers,
We gonna-
exiles.
They can't stop it though, bro.
Risking imprisonment, torture.
Hold up, fam. Man, I'm trying to play this video. They trying me. This is gonna be a great lesson though. This video, we played this video many times throughout the night. They ain't do this. You know what I'm saying?
Could have saved the
We gonna
black
see what
Jews,
this-
but did not. Defeated in battle 400 years ago, deprived of the right to own land, the black Jews of Ethiopia were labeled Falasha, strangers, exiles. Risking imprisonment, torture, and possibly death at the hands of the government authorities, some Falashas managed to escape from Ethiopia. A handful have made it to the west, including Barak Geni, who now lives in Montreal.
So I just sometimes I couldn't understand it, why we should suffer. I mean, what we done? We are innocent people, we are not criminal. We're just
As y'all,
a black and Jew who like...
we ain't got nobody in the room right now. Y'all check this out.
This religion, I don't know for how long, in Ethiopia, more than 2,000 years. Just that we try to give our life for that specific because we felt we are not guilty.
Up until the 17th century, the Falashas ruled much of the ancient and mysterious land of Abyssinia, their own independent kingdom in the isolated but strategic Horn of Africa. The black Jews still live in the remote and spectacular Simeon Mountains and along the shores of Lake Tana, the source of the legendary Blue Nile. With an average annual income of just $117 per person, Ethiopia is one of the poorest countries on earth. 85% of its population live off the land, using methods which have not changed for hundreds of years. There is one doctor per 75,000 Ethiopians, and a recent survey rated the country as having the lowest quality of life on earth. The capital city, Addis Ababa.
As you see, we're going to stop it right there, family. We're going to come back to it. As you see, our brothers and sisters over there, even in poverty, you know what I'm saying, they still find a sense to be happy and love, and through music and through a lot of things, just through love, you know, find a way to stick together. But as you see, our people still are suffering the curses. Like the video said, they're living in one of the most poverty-stricken places in Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? In the world. So, like my ox said, in the world. So, when you put it all together, these curses, these are the true Jews of Israel. These are the true Israelites. How do we know this? We finna go into the curses. See, this is how you identify the people. See, the Most High has you identify as people through the struggle, because we don't just struggle for nothing. People think we just struggle because God got it out for us. Well, if God got it out for us, he must have had it for us at some point in time. He don't just have it out for you. Before the Most High cut you off, he done gave you everything. He done gave you opportunity. He done gave you all of the opportunities and all of the chances to be a great person. And this story, this is what we're going to get in the story of Solomon. Let's go into it. So we in 1 Kings, we in chapter 9. Let's see what goes on. We're going to read this because this is going to connect to that, you know what I'm saying, and the story that I'm going into. It says, and it came to pass that when Solomon had finished building of the house of the Elohim, or the Lord, the king's house, Solomon desired which he pleased to do. The Lord appeared to Solomon the second time, as he had appeared to him in Gibeon. And the Lord said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and thy supplication that thou hast made before me, and I have hallowed it, and I have hallowed this house which thou hast built, and to put my name therein forever. My eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. If thou wilt walk before me as David thy father walked, in integrity of heart and uprightness, to do accordingly to all that I have commanded thee, and to will to keep my statutes and judgment, I will establish the throne of thy kingdom upon Israel forever, as I promised to thy David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man upon the throne of Israel. But if ye, now here go the twist. Now let me just give y'all the rundown right fast. King David was a warrior. King David was the Most High's, he had the Most High's heart. King David was a great person for the Most High. Now King David's son gets to, he's next up, you know what I'm saying? And he's ruling the throne. Now King David couldn't build the temple because he had too much blood on his hands being a warrior. So the Most High saved his task for his son, King Solomon. Now King Solomon is up on a rule, and this the Most High and asked him what he wanted. He didn't want anything. He just wanted wisdom and knowledge to deal with the people. So him being so humble, not wanting any riches or anything for himself really, but to deal with the people, the Most High gave him all the riches and everything anyway, so he won't want for nothing as the king of Israel. When the Most High did this, he made Solomon the most wisest person in the world. He made him the most richest man in the world. So all this stuff about the richest man in Africa and all that is whatever buddy name is, Musa, whatever. He wasn't the richest man in the world. King Solomon was. King Solomon had the Egyptian pharaohs and everybody around the world. He had the Egyptian pharaoh sending his daughter. That's what we're gonna get into the story, because Queen Sheba was another uh, gift for war, basically a gift to keep the peace in war. People used to give their daughters to bind the countries together. If Egypt didn't want no beef with Israel, they would send his daughter, you know what I'm saying, to to stop the peace. He ain't finna go to war with another country. He knows his kids over there, his grandkids over there. So, and the same thing when with Ethiopia, we always dealt with the Ethiopians. That's why the scriptures say, "Are you not like the Ethiopians to me?" He said, because he dealt with the Ethiopians before he dealt with Israel. He dealt with the Hamites. So we gotta understand that. We gotta understand that the Israelites, even when you look at it geographically, the land of Israel, we have parts of so-called Ethiopia. We always dealt. Moses had Ethiopian wives. We always dealt with the Ethiopians. There's no secret. So it's no secret that there's Jews in Ethiopia. On top of Queen Sheba and King Solomon, I believe they took it out of the scriptures that she left conceiving a child. There's no way all of these there's not a lot of Ethiopians, but there's no way to just stand a group of Ethiopians that say they're from King Solomon. They not gonna lie and say they from King Solomon. The only thing that connect them to King Solomon is King Menelik, the son of Queen Sheba. We're gonna get into the story of Queen Sheba, how she came to King Solomon and how this jumped off. But let's get into the curses, because the only way you're gonna understand why our people is royalty and they going through so much hardship is to understand the contract that the Most High gave Solomon. Solomon had the king. Solomon caused the kingdom to split. Most people don't know this. With him not doing what the Most High told him to do, having all the power the Most High gave him, he caused a split in the kingdom between the northern and the southern kingdom. This is what caused the exile Israel into Assyria and different things like that. So let's get into it. It says, but if you should turn from following me, ye and your children will not keep my commandments and my statutes which I have set before you, but go and serve other gods and worship them, I will cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, and this house which I have hallowed for my name, I will cast out of my sight, and Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people. Okay, we're going to start right there. So we already see what the Most High said to Solomon. He told Solomon, if you do this, your seed gonna rule on the seed of Israel forever. If you don't do what I told you to do, same thing he told Moses, same thing he told all of the prophets of the Most High. The Most High give you a choice to make the right decisions. It's up to us to make the right decisions. Solomon didn't make the right decisions. He wanted to go chasing after women. He had, the scripture said, don't multiply yourself to too many wives. He had too many wives. He had too much gold. He had too much everything. And then not only did he have too many women, more women than days on the calendar, but after that he let them take him away from his God. He served their gods. He served Asheroth and all these different gods. He served their gods under the trees and under the groves. Instead of bringing these women into the Most High, he dealt with strange women, foreign women, who didn't know anything about Israel. Who, when you have children with them, they're not going to teach their children about Israel. They're going to teach their children about their customs. So we're going to get into it. But that blood of Israel going to reign strong through whatever vessel it's in. I don't care what nation you in. When you deal with Israel, that's why they say once you go black, you don't go back. So we finna get into it. It's going to be a great lesson, family. Y'all stick with me. I guess everybody's still asleep, because I ain't seeing nothing. Ain't nobody in the room, but y'all wake up. Y'all gonna get this breakfast when y'all wake up.
Struggling desperately to modernize, Addis Ababa is a third world capital gamely trying to catch up with the rest of the world. Once financed primarily by America and the West, Ethiopia was ruled for 44 years by the world's last emperor, Haile Selassie, the Lion of Judah, who claimed descent from King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba.
Hold up. Did y'all just hear that, family? I hope everybody just heard that. Haile Selassie, yes, the one who made Rastafari. He said he claims, he said he comes from Queen Sheba and King Solomon's bloodline. Now, we know he don't necessarily come from them because they were here long ago, but he's saying he comes from that bloodline of that occurrence between them. Now, everybody know Haile Selassie, they said the Lion of Judah. Everybody know what the Lion of Judah is. So, whether they want to believe it or not, Hebrew culture and Hebrew origins and roots lie within Ethiopia. He even brought it overseas to the Hebrews who in Jamaica. And that's why they call themselves Rastafarians, and they call Yah, Jah. They didn't know anything about the Y's because they were, because they read the English. English is their Y is a J. So they called them Jah, but we know what you mean. We know what our brothers mean over there. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't in the Rastafarian, but I know when I hear my brothers talking, I know when I hear somebody say the Lion of Judah, and I know I hear somebody say King Solomon, I know what that ring back to. I know what that bloodline ring back to. Matter of fact, before we even get into it, let's read about King Solomon and Queen of Sheba, or Queen Sheba. Her name wasn't Sheba. Her name was a Sheba. Matter of fact, we gonna cut it down. This is in 1 Kings chapter 10. We gonna jump into some information. Get this out the way. Okay, I'm on blackhistoryinthebible.com. Okay, it says Queen Sheba, King Solomon's Ethiopian mistress. Okay, I don't know. That's what they want to say. Everybody know Queen. If you read the story of Solomon, Solomon had a wife before Queen. He had a woman before Queen Sheba. He had the Egyptian Pharaoh's daughter. Now Queen Sheba, let's get into it. Let's read it, because they're going to break it down. It says Queen Sheba is one of the people that stand out in the scriptures. It says, even though there is a lot that is said about her according to the Bible, she made a special trip from Ethiopia to Israel just to meet Solomon, based on hearing rumors of his wisdom. This is all true. We just gonna cut it, nip it in the bud because we press for time. So we gonna nip it in the bud. We don't have time. But if you looking for this, go to 1 Kings chapter 10 and you can read all about it. It says, to understand the significance of this meeting, we must understand how political ties were made in the ancient world. In order to form alliances, royalty will often marry each other or have their children marry each other. We'll come back to this meeting further down. But okay, first let's look into the Queen Hamite connection. And the son of Cush, Sheba, Havilah, Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabtakah, the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. This is all in Genesis 7 and 10 and 7. To break it down, so you can understand Sheba, her name was Queen of Sheba. Her name wasn't Sheba. Her name was Makeda. I believe her name was Makeda. Makeda. So let's get into it. She was Queen of Sheba. Queen Sheba was the grandson of Cush. We all know who Cush is. Cush is the son of Ham. We all know who Ham is. Ham is the progenitor of the Africans. So when you put it together, Queen Sheba is a daughter of Sheba, son of Cush. Cushites. There's no secret we dealt with the Africans. We always dealt with the Africans. It ain't no secret. When you look into it, Joseph, you had Moses, which was Levi, you had, so what is that? Manasseh and Ephraim, all of them are mixed with Egyptian. Then I believe Moses, Miriam's sister, got turned white for talking about Moses having an Ethiopian wife. The Most High said, are you not like the Ethiopians to me? So the Ethiopians is special people to the Most High. So let's not say nothing crazy about them. They're righteous people just because they don't have the chosen belief in the chosen God. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that they're not a righteous person. We need to stop getting so high on ourselves thinking because the Most High chose us, everybody else is dirt. That's not true. Okay, it says, let's go down. So they showing you what Sheba possibly become. This is Israel. So around this area is where Sheba might have came from, Yemen down there. But Ethiopia was right here around that time. So let's see what went on. It says, who was Queen Sheba? It says, her name is not given in scripture, but to the Ethiopians, she was known as Queen Makeda. What will we do? It said, what we do know from the scriptures is that she had heard the fame of Solomon and want to test his wisdom with hard questions. Yes, this is all true. It says, and when the Queen Sheba, this is out of Kings, it said, when Queen of Sheba heard the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Elohim, or the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions. So this woman came to test Solomon. She came to test Solomon with hard questions to find out if he was wise as everybody else was saying he was wise. All the kings around the world were saying, man, Solomon, man, nobody more wise than him. You read the scripture, all the kings of the earth was coming to get knowledge from Solomon. The Most High gave him wisdom and knowledge among he was a God amongst men because he was dealing with the Most High. It says, this is also reflected in the New Testament. It says, referred to as the Queen of the South. Okay, let's go into it. Because Queen Sheba came like a real woman supposed to come. And like when she wanted to deal with a king, she was a queen, so she knew how to come to a king. It says, Queen Sheba arrived with massive caravan full of gifts for Solomon, even though he was already rich beyond belief. After she is satisfied with his answers, Queen of Sheba gives Solomon unmatched riches from her kingdom. And this is from Kings 10 and 10. It says, and she gave the king, we're going to just read it off. We're going to just read it off. She gave him spices and all. She gave him 120 talents of gold. It says he gave her almug trees, precious stones and diamonds, spices and herbs. She came with gifts. This was royalty back in those days. It might seem small to y'all these days because y'all looking for cars, houses, and buildings and different things like that. That was a lot back in those days though. Let's get back into the video though. Now that y'all see the speculation, now me personally, the scriptures, it tell you whoever add or take away from the scriptures, you take away from your name, you take your name out the book of life. So I believe that the actual verses of King Solomon and Queen Sheba conversing, because I done read other little things about King Solomon giving the Ark of Covenant to Menelik, and that's how it got into Ethiopia. Most people don't know the Ark of Covenant is in Askham, Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? Right now, to this day. To this day. Like Deontay Wilder say, to this day. To this day. But yeah, to this day, we're going to go into it. Let's type it in. Let's type it in. Ask them Ethiopia so y'all can know, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking out my butthole, you know what I'm saying? My ass. Let's get it. Okay, this is Ask them Ethiopia. Let's type in Ark of, it come right up. As soon as you type it in, Ask them Ethiopia, the Ark of Covenant come right up. We're going to click on that. It says, let's read this right fast. It says, sorry, Indiana Jones, the Ark of Covenant is not inside this Ethiopian church. Some have suggested the Ark of Covenant is inside. Ark of Covenant is a. We're gonna get into it when it's loaded out. We ain't got time though. It's freezing up right now. We're gonna go back to the video, people, because I done had y'all for 30 minutes. Damn, man. Yeah, this acting up. We ain't got time for that. If it go down, we can read. Okay, it go down. So okay, so they saying what they saying is, you know what I mean, it's in Ethiopia, but it's a replica, because they know they gonna come and try to take it. So they put a replica inside of there, and they must have the real one stored somewhere. The Ethiopians must have the real one stored somewhere. I also read over there that they gotta cast the Torah into iron so it won't be tampered with. So these people tamper with the scriptures constantly. That's why the Most High said, whoever add or take away, you should take your way out the book of life. So it ain't a small thing that they add and take away from the scripture. It's not. It's up to us to decipher what's real and what's not real. What's fiction and what's non-fiction. And how do we do that? We do that by knowing the scripture. If you know the scripture, can't nobody pull one on you. If you just listening and, you know what I'm saying, then somebody can tell you anything, you believe anything. That's why the scripture says, study to show thyself approved. We're going to get back into it. I'll put the link in the description.
In 1974, Selassie's paternalistic, poverty-stricken domain was convulsed by the all-too-familiar Third World Coup. Led by a group of frustrated young army officers who called themselves the Derg, they claimed to have ignited a Marxist revolution. A bloody 5-year civil war ensued, causing much suffering and dislocation throughout the country. The 82-year-old Selassie died in prison, and the revolutionaries emerged triumphant. Aware of the power of the 1,500-year-old Ethiopian Coptic Church, which owned 40% of the land, the revolutionary government was quick to imprison the Coptic Patriarch and appoint their own. Just 2 religions are tolerated in the new socialist state: Coptic Christianity and the well-entrenched Muslim faith. Each represents about half the country's population. All other faiths, Catholics, Protestant, Lutheran, Baptist, and Jewish, are now subjugated to the official belief in the new state of Ethiopia.
We're gonna stop it right fast. As y'all see, they making it illegal for Hebrews to even Israelites to even keep their culture. We going back into the times of the scriptures where it's illegal for a Hebrew to even keep his culture. As the documentary is saying, it's saying that the religion is split. Half is Christianity and the other half is Muslim or Islam. So completely not even our beliefs. They not even giving us the chance to believe what we want to believe. They want us to believe in this ruler in Ethiopia and this other Gentile they brought over there, probably some type of ambassador for England or something like that, or China. We would never know. Let's keep the documentary going though.
Surreptitiously through an airport window, our crew filmed Ethiopia's President Mengistu, the short man in the center, escorting Yugoslav President Petar Stambolic to review the elite of Africa's largest army. Mengistu has developed strong ties with the Soviet bloc. Faced with an ongoing civil war with Eritrean guerrillas in the north, more recent battles with U.S.-backed Somalia in the south, and outbreaks of counter-revolutionary resistance throughout the country, most villages are tightly controlled by the military, with strict curfews and travel permits a regular part of life. Though long aware of their existence, until recently, outsiders took little interest in the Ethiopian Jews. In 1969, American writer Meyer Levin shot this documentary film on the Falashes. At the time, the Jews were allowed to practice their religion, though they lived in extreme poverty. Founder of the American Association for Ethiopian Jews, Dr. Grenham Berger first visited the Falashes 18 years ago.
And what I saw was horrible suffering. I saw poverty, the likes of which I had never seen anywhere else in the world, and I've been to 85 countries, and I know what poverty can be like in many of the backward and undeveloped countries of the world. So here are these people who wanted to go to Israel. In fact, 40 letter, the remnants of Israel, begging to be lifted up on the wings of eagles like their co-religionists across the Red Sea brought to Israel.
But neither Selassie's government nor the new revolutionary regime would let them leave Ethiopia. They remained landless, destitute peasants, trapped in their villages, the prisoners of a government which insisted that the Jews were imprisoned and they escaped from Ethiopia just after the revolution.
When I say suffering, probably people, you don't have any right except you have air, the sun, free, that's all. You cannot cause it's not belong to you, or you can.
As y'all see, family, the script, as you see, the script comes back to be the truth. Let's read this again, because I believe they just said they was landless. I believe they said they didn't have no place to go. Let's read the curses that God told Solomon in 1 Kings chapter 9. He says, but if you shall turn from my following me, this is verse 6 of chapter 9. Follow me, ye or your children, and will not keep my commandments, my statutes which I set before you, but go and serve other gods. That's the only way we get in this position, family, is if we went and serve other gods in a certain point of time. So our ancestors serve other gods, so we have to reverse the curse. That's what you see going on. You seeing the Most High's words and not coming back void. Whatever he say is gonna come to true. Falasha, that's Hebrews. Those are Hebrew Israelites suffering the curses. When they say, they're gonna tell you they the sons of Solomon, they the bloodline of David. They know it, and it's showing through the curses. He says, but serve other gods and worship them, I will cut off Israel out of the land which I have given them, in this house which I have hallowed for my name. I will cast out of my sight, and Israel should be a proverb and a byword among people. As y'all seeing, they are a proverb and a byword among the people of Ethiopia. And anywhere else we go, whether we in America, whether we in China, we gonna be the outsiders, we gonna be the black sheep. And people need to understand that it's not because you're black. It's not because your hair. It's not because of none of the silly things they tell you. It's not because of how your people act. Because they benefit off of how your people act. They're part of the way your people act. So it's not about that either. It's all about these curses and breaking these curses and these spells that's on our people from America across the Atlantic all the way to Ethiopia, as you people are seeing. And y'all gonna see it. And they not gonna let us back in our land, as y'all see, because they keeping the prophecy. The Most High got them wicked ones over there keeping the prophecy. So I don't mind visiting, but I'm not planning on going over there like it's like the Most High to clink the land up. There's still a lot of evil going on over there. And in Ethiopia too. Let's get into it.
Burn the gift of your life. That's much we suffer from that place.
In Barak's home province of Gondar, in northern Ethiopia, the government pressured the Jews and joined the communist fold. When the Falashes refused, the government responded by closing their villages to all tourists, including our film crew. Our Ethiopian Tourist Commission guide, Werku Sheru, explained his government's policy toward the Jews.
And the bad side about Judaism is that they are still waiting to go back to Jerusalem. And that's Ethiopians, and as soon as they are Ethiopians, they've been here, and that's the reason. We don't want the people to, these people to think there's another place, and it's because of that we're not allowed to go visit and film the videos.
The Falashes had not been filmed since the revolution. Our crew was determined to reach them. This is their report.
As we drove north into the Simeon Mountains.
As y'all see, they said these people ain't these Hebrew Israelites ain't been recorded since the revolution. So our people, we don't want the fame. We don't want the fame. The Hebrew life, I started this channel to wake up my people. I don't want the fame. We should never want the fame. The fame goes, all glory goes to the Most High Yah. When you start wanting the fame, now you going too far. You should only want the fame for the Most High, but obedience is better than sacrifice. So you gotta watch what you sacrificing yourself to, and make sure you being obedient more than you just sacrificing. But as you gonna see, when they coming up on these people, the scriptures say, it says a city on a hill cannot be hidden. We a city on a hill. Israel is a city on a hill. We beautiful. We above everybody. They're like, man, look at those people living on the hill. But we have high expectations, and much is given as much is expected. You ain't finna live on the hill and everybody live below you, and your ways ain't higher than their ways. The Most High ain't gonna give that type of vision to the people. Only way we looking up to y'all is that y'all doing something worth looking up, be looked up to. And that's what he gave us in Deuteronomy 7 and 6. When he gave us these laws, it was to be the most amazing people on earth.
We began to realize that having come 10,000 miles, all we would go home with would be fleeting shots of Falasha villages shot out the window of our land cruiser. Tension between the film crew and our guide mounted as Werku warned us that any footage we shot of Ethiopian Jews would be confiscated by the government authorities.
Guys from the West, you have a fixation.
I don't have a fixation.
You do.
I'm interested in all...
No, really, let's go. Let's risk it. I don't have it. But if you lose all this film, and you have to be cool. Just like you want this, you must be ready to lose your film. This, you must be ready right now.
And how would it happen that we would lose it?
You will lose it. That's certain.
Why?
It will be confiscated. It will be returned to you after security went all through it and see that there are no shots of Falasha.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not trying to stop you from going. I'm not to frighten you, but you must.
Now look at this red mug. I'm telling y'all, I don't believe Esau is the white man. I believe some of the fake Jews do have the blood of Esau in them. But the whole time during this documentary, this red, curly head mug was trying to stop them from going to see the Falasha Hebrews. No, you hear him talking, saying, if you try to record, We gonna do this, that, and third. So he's trying to scare them from going to record, really, because he don't want them to see the poverty that they living in. This ain't nothing but a modern day Edomite. His skin glowing red. Skin glowing red, but y'all steady looking for the white man. This dude right here trying to stop them from going to see the Hebrews in their poverty. He playing the Haman. He playing every role that you see Edomite play in the scriptures, going against the chosen. Going against the chosen. But they know where they at. And he gonna show them. Because the Most High gonna use him to bring the truth
Are
out.
you ready to take what is? The consequences. And anybody who can take the consequences is free to, then break laws and will do whatever. But you have to be cool when it comes to consequences.
Early next morning, high up in the Simeon Mountains, we planned to ride by horseback down into the most remote valleys of Ethiopia. We were now accompanied by an army officer carrying a Soviet AK-47 rifle, who boasted that he had killed 8 student rebels during Ethiopia's bloody civil war. Our trek through the valley took 10 hours, and Worku began to soften, saying that he would not stop us from filming Falashes if we stumbled upon one of their villages. Finally, we arrived at a broad plain in the valley basin. Perched on a promontory across a small stream was the Falasha village of Shewada. Our tired horses climbed the steep trail.
As y'all see, a city on a hill can't be hidden. You see where these Hebrews live. They climbing up the mountain. When y'all get a chance, look at it yourselves again. They're climbing up a mountain. Now, as much poverty as these people living in, they live in a beautiful spot. You know what I'm saying? They live in a spot the rich want to build their houses on the hills. But you're gonna see the poverty of our brothers and sisters, and it's gonna be evident that these brothers are suffering of some type of curse or something. Something is going on.
And there they were, standing nervously behind a fence of brambles.
Look,
and
our
branches,
brothers.
a community of 200 proud but frightened Ethiopian Jews. Shewada is typical of the 400 or so Falasha villages scattered among these hills. Denied the right to own land, the Falashas survived as metal workers, but because of their work with fire.
Now, did y'all hear that? The Ethiopians, knowing that King Menelik coming back and Queen Sheba, they know Queen Sheba was pregnant by a Jew. They know a Jew or a Hebrew is gonna overtake an Ethiopian. So why would they ban these people from having land? That's part of the curses of Israel. What can you do? You can't have land. What else is a man living for then? What am I working for? I can't own land. So they're trying to take a man's integrity away immediately. And the same thing goes on in America. How many black people own businesses in America? Not many. And they only gave them Negroes businesses so they can make people think that the system is fair when it's really not. We're going to keep getting into it.
They are shunned as possessors of the evil eye. Superstitious Ethiopians believe that they can cast spells, and the Jews are often blamed for calamities like drought and disease. In a land of extreme poverty, the Falashas are still the poorest of the poor. Watched carefully by our gun-toting guard, a few men said they would answer our nervous questions.
Are they still able to carry on their religion here in this village?
Are you still able to carry on your religion in this village?
Yes, around here. Our religion is different. There are many of us. We believe in the Torah.
What do you call yourselves?
The house of Israel. The house of Israel.
Apprehensive about our guard and guide, and ensure that they could trust us, the Falashas answered evasively.
What did them? Now, we all the way overseas, family. I don't want to hear nobody say this Hebrew Israelite job is a cult, that is fake, that it ain't real, that these just some niggas on the street corners yelling. Yeah, them niggas thrown up. But at the end of the day, you see that these brothers overseas in Ethiopia is claiming that they're the house of Israel too. And they're suffering the curses too, just like we suffering curses in America when we think about getting food every other night. We think about paying our bills every other night. We living in poverty just like they living in poverty. We think because we got some nice clothes on, we see some buildings, and we in America, and we think everything all good, that we safe and secure, but you're not. You suffering the curses too. Because you're not living in no gated communities. You don't own nothing. People only celebrate holidays to stun on each other, to show off on each other. We don't. What is wrong with black people? How are you showing out on your brothers and sisters and you don't have nothing yourself? It's a form of the Willie Lynch system. Let's get into it.
Do they know about Israel and all that?
No, you just ask me.
Do you know of a country by the name of Israel?
Foreign country? No, we have no way of knowing.
We were born in Ethiopia, but we've heard rumors. We don't know if this place is in the country or a...
Now watch this Edomite work. He finna start trying to question their belief system. Have y'all ever been to Israel? So how do you know you from Israel? He like, look, fam, my grandmama, my people told us of the story. We heard the stories that we came to Ethiopia. No, we was born in Ethiopia, but it was only because Queen Sheba came back with that man, King Menelik, and he built the nation within Ethiopia. And you see what they doing to his children because they know that we not the same. They're Hamites and we're Shemites. That's King Menelik and them children. They know that they not real Ethiopians. They know that woman came back with a Jew in her, you know what I'm saying? And they say the scriptures say that she asked for him for a son. You know what I'm saying? But they probably took this out. You probably find this somewhere hidden in the basement of the Jewish people somewhere in the Vatican somewhere, in the basement somewhere. The lost books.
These days we listen to the radio and hear about what goes on outside the country. We hear Israel mentioned. But ourselves, we were born here.
They have heard of it, radio, and that they've been born, that forefathers have been born.
As our questions became more political, Worku's translations became colored with his government's views of the place of the Falashas in Ethiopia.
And they're happy to be in Ethiopia.
Are you happy to be living in Ethiopia? Even if you are not happy, you haven't got a choice.
What can we do?
These people here think you have a connection with Israel, but you are Ethiopians, whether you like it or not. This is your country.
Yes, we are just simple.
Hold the brakes, hold the press. Why is this not now? This is when it starts to really come out. Like, man, maybe this guy is an Edomite, because he came here. He showed them the Jews, the Falashan Jews, but he trying to twist things. He trying to say, well, you know, ain't you happy to be here? You is it? Like he's throwing them these questions, trying to make them feel like they not Jews, that they Ethiopians. Because they don't, the same thing is going on if you type in Afro-Argentinians. The same thing is going on in Latin America, where they try to tell these people who have African features that, oh, you're not African at all, you're Latin. There's no such thing as African culture. You better do the salsa and that's it. If I catch you dancing around a fire doing any type of African culture with some feathers or anything, it's been banned in Brazil and in Central Mexico. And as y'all seeing, any type of thing outside the Ethiopian culture, they're banning it. But watch this Edomite try to ask these brothers these questions. Watch how these brothers flip.
People, we don't know about these things.
Has it changed for them since the revolution? Has it got better for them here?
Has it become better for you since the revolution?
Sure, the laws are good. For example, the law concerning land distribution and the laws concerning equal work opportunities. But the peasants' associations which were set up to implement these new laws for the benefit of the poor have not done so, and we are still suffering. The hunger, the anguish is still on our shoulders. We still carry the burden even now. Nevertheless, the government did pass new laws. It's the Peasants' Association which refused to implement them when it comes to us.
We work hard, but they take it from us without paying. You mean you make it and you give it to them for free? Angry at such criticism, our guard intervened, and Worku stopped translating.
They don't leave us anything. If they pay us very little.
You don't get any money for your work?
Most of the time they don't pay.
Why? There's a Peasants Association.
Forget about the Peasants Association. All they care about is themselves.
If they hear about this, they will take some action. To say that you work for nothing, that's not good to say. There is a peasants association. There's a local governor working on these problems. You shouldn't say that.
Look at it. Look at these, man, y'all tripping, man. Y'all don't think these brothers, him,
If they hear about this, they will take some action.
and
Say
this
that you...
mug right here talking about he done killed 8 students with an AK. He really, that's what he said his pride on. Now these Hebrews, they clearly showed y'all, like the video said, we're not alone. They telling you the same conditions we living in America. They living in, man. Look, they don't pay as much. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about us. They care about themselves. This is the same issues we go through. Brothers is barely being paid. Barely making ends meet. Then you got these sellouts like him and the other dudes trying to tell them, oh, man, everything is good, man. You tripping. The government working on these problems. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. It's BS, man.
Work for nothing, that's not good to say. There is a peasants association. There's a local governor working on these problems. You shouldn't say that.
The revolutionary government has outlawed the teaching of Hebrew, insisting that the Jews attend the state-run schools. But away from our guard and guide, speaking in halting Hebrew, one young man showed us his hidden Hebrew schoolbook.
It's mine. It was given to me. And you study Hebrew?
I study Hebrew here.
You study here?
Yes.
Alone?
There was a man. One man. He was my instructor. I got my book when I studied in Gondar.
Until 3 years ago, in the provincial capital town of Gondar, a Jewish development organization ran a clinic and Hebrew schools for both elementary and high school students in these buildings. But the project was closed down by the tough provincial governor, Major Malaku, a prominent member of the Derg, who runs his province like a military camp. Outspokenly anti-Israel, aligning himself with the Arab League, Malaku welcomed Libyan troops in Gondar province. He padlocked all synagogues and warned the Falashas that if they tried to escape his territory, they would be imprisoned, tortured, or killed. One Falasha woman who escaped from Gondar province agreed to tell us her story.
Start by telling me how you first escaped.
Now let me pause it right fast. As y'all seeing, the government is against these. Y'all Hebrews out here, y'all real prosy. A lot of y'all glow right now, man. I hope y'all ready when they shut down on us. When they tell us, nigga, if we catch you celebrating any type of Hebrew cultures, you're dead or you're going to jail. I hope y'all ready. I hope y'all ready. As y'all see in Ethiopia, they not letting these people leave. Now they can't have land, as y'all just said earlier with the brothers. And as y'all saying now, oh, y'all can't leave either. Just like when a brother get a felony in America, he can't get a passport, right? He can't get a passport. You can't leave. And how many brothers gonna, man, look, we in the Chicago area, man. We in Chicago, basically. Man, if you read a book by Michelle Alexander called The New Jim Crow Laws, man, 90% of black males in Illinois in the Chicago area go to jail for something, whether it's small or big. Your name gonna get in the system. They gonna put some dirt on your name. If you're a part of that 10%, man, you a very blessed brother. I hope you do something to change some things out here, like become a lawyer or something like that, because you a part of a special club. You made it through the grits for a reason. The Most High needs you to do some things. But for the rest of us, a lot of people get felonies and they go to jail, and then they can't get jobs. The system is against us. So you see that the people can't own land and they can't leave either. And these people are trying to go back to Israel. As y'all gonna see, these girls is walking for miles trying to get back to Israel, and the government is stopping them, picking them up, taking them back to the community, telling them ain't no Israel. While we know who lives in the real land of Israel, we ain't even gotta explain who really living in the land of Israel right now, and why these people somehow stopping. If you think they ain't paying them, hey, I don't know what to tell y'all.
What happened to you when you first thought of leaving Ethiopia?
Afraid of the retribution this interview might bring her family still living in Ethiopia, we promised to carefully hide her identity.
When I first thought of leaving for Israel, I didn't think I'd have problems along the way. I traveled a long distance over many roads. We were robbed by bandits along the way. Our legs were scratched and cut by thorns. We had blisters on our feet and we were hungry. It rained all the time. We came to a small village. Nearby there was a big river. When we tried to cross it, we were caught. After 10 days had gone by, they came and took us away by helicopter. They took us from there and put us in a jail. They asked us, "Who are your relatives in Israel? Who is your contact in Israel? Who is the contact between yourselves and that country? Is there somebody encouraging you to leave? What are your problems here? Why do you want to go there?" Then they started to beat us with a metal bar to force us to speak. We started to scream.
Y'all see these torture devices they using? They had these women hung up by their legs, hitting them with a pole. This ain't just a picture. They told her to describe it and they gave a visual of it. Saying, hey, say you not from Israel. While we reading this, let's go to Psalms right fast to understand what's going on. Because they trying to make them forget they Israel. They trying to tell them, fam, you ain't no Israelite. Say you not an Israelite. And I hope y'all ready for them to come at y'all the same way. Why y'all calling yourselves true brews? We gonna see. Because when the pressure come, the pressure come. And we gonna see who gonna fold. What is it? Psalms 82. Psalms 83. Okay, we at Psalms 83. We gonna read this since we seeing that they trying to make them forget the name of Israel. Psalms 83. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace. Be not thy still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee lift up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. They have consulted against the hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, the Ishmaelites of Moab, the Hagarans, Jabal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also join with them. They have holpen, the children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midians and the Sisera and Javelin at the brook of Kasan. So these is all the nations that's going against us. Not only Edom, not only the Edomites, but you got the Ishmaelites. This is a family affair. Then you got the Hagarines, which is Ethiopians who come from Hagar. People need to piece this together. Then you got the Philistines, Ammon, which is another son of Lot. Then Amalek, Jabal. Man, look, we got all kind of enemies. So y'all focus on the white man, quotation marks. Y'all focus, man, we got plenty of enemies, man. Y'all focus on the Grecians and the Romans, man. We got more enemies than the Grecians and the Romans, which is the modern day white man. Y'all ain't going. The Most High got Judah kept up in America. Be thankful for what you got. These brothers is going through way more, and these sisters going through way more hardship than we going through. It's our job to expose what they going through. They don't have the tools. They don't have the means to expose the truth like we do. They going through survival on the daily. These women walking as children with no food, no nothing, just know they trying to get back to Israel. They know they'd rather die than sit in Ethiopia and be treated the way they being treated. Let's get back into it. So more so.
After that, they put a stick between our legs with a point under our chin. Then they lifted our legs until we were upside down. They tied our thumbs with leather and put them over our heads and tied them back there.
Did you ever see Malachi?
Did you see Malaku?
Yes. He came to the prison when they released us. He decided not to release 8 of us. He warned us repeatedly not to attempt to escape again. Then he said we could go. But now that you've taken your oath, if you are caught trying to escape again, you will die.
Risking certain death at the hands of Malaku's troops, innumerable diseases and attacks by bandits, more than 2,000 Falashes have made the grueling trek across the border to sprawling refugee camps in Somalia, Djibouti, and the Sudan, in the hope of eventually reaching Israel. Teeming with violence and infested with disease, life in these camps is often worse than the life the Falashes left behind. This UN-administered camp shelters 12,000 Ethiopian refugees. These 6 men had just arrived. Exhausted and malnourished, they were grateful for the meager rations supplied by the international aid organizations. These refugees can leave the camp if they are sponsored by Western governments, but no one has stepped forward to sponsor the Ethiopian Jews. The Falashes here were afraid to talk to us, and we were asked not to endanger them by identifying this camp. Seeking scapegoats for their misery, other refugees have turned on the Jews, and many Falashes have been beaten, mutilated, and killed.
In the last, I think the last 4 months, 600 children died as refugees. Women, children, don't have food. They don't have medical treatment. They try to reach to Jerusalem, and they didn't get it. 600 children. Who's talking about them? Who cares about them? And that will be the end.
Nah, as y'all just said, man, this brother said they done killed 600 children. Ain't nobody talking about it on the news. What y'all see as news ain't really news. Don't nobody care about the real things that's going on in the world. A lot of when y'all get a chance to watch this on your own, check out a few other videos about, people, Jews in other countries, Hebrews in other countries, and look at these brothers. You could start with the fake camp lie and go to South America and look at the Negro Hebrews down there. Now I believe all of the Mexican Negroes and the Argentinian Negro, I believe all of them are Hebrews. Just like I believe these are Hebrews. But you can't tell them what tribe they come from. All of these brothers look just like us in America. When you see these brothers and sisters, you're going to see, dang, man, they could come right in America with us tomorrow. And they could be called LaQuisha, Bonquisha, Poo Poo, Ray Ray, or whatever you want to call them. And you wouldn't even know they was from Ethiopia. You wouldn't even know, because we are brothers, we are sisters, we are Hebrews.
Under pressure from people like Barak Tugene, in 1980, the Israeli government embarked on a limited program which has brought 2,000 Falashes to Israel. Last November, led by a respected Kohen and the only Ethiopian-born rabbi, they marched to the Western Wall to draw attention to the plight of their families still trapped in the refugee camps and forgotten in Ethiopia. Despite their 3,000 years of strict adherence to a biblical Judaism, it was not until 1975 that the Rabbinical Council in Israel ruled that the Falashes were, in fact, Jews. Having miraculously made it to Jerusalem, the Falashes have been bitterly disappointed by the apathy and lack of support from the government of Israel. There is great controversy about whether Israel has done all it can to help them escape. They continually seek support from political leaders such as Israel's president, Yitzhak Navon.
What a great miracle it is. You're remaining committed to the Jewish tradition and religion.
At a demonstration on Mount Zion, Navon guardedly pledges his support for their cause.
We were glad to see first sign of your arrival in Israel. To our regret, it was only a trickle, not a massive flow as we would have hoped for. The story is long, and silence is more appropriate at this moment.
Silence is what we faced when we asked for answers from the Israeli government. Members of the cabinet refused to be interviewed on the subject, stressing that the issue involved secret undercover operations and that any discussion of the problem of the Falashes would endanger their lives.
As a man who's been Prime Minister,
We did manage to arrange a strained interview with former Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin.
can you give the Ethiopian Jews any feeling that something is being done for them?
I'm sure that everything which is feasible and possible is done.
How can you be sure of that?
Because I know what kind of efforts are made, and I believe that talking is very easy, but to do something, it's much more complicated. The kind of efforts which are made are considerable.
We're gonna stop it right there. Come on, man. This is plain as day, man. Maybe it ain't. You could clearly see, okay, these people supposed to be Jews. These supposed to be Jews too. Where is the support? Where is the brotherhood? If the Falashas say they are the black Jews, and y'all, and they say they Jewish, and y'all saying y'all Jews, the white Jews, I guess, then where is the support? If this is really true that there's white Jews and black Jews, where is the support at? There's no support, then they don't even want to speak on the matter. Y'all gotta see the truth, man. That's what I'm here for. Y'all gonna see the truth. Somebody lying about being the Jews, and if they say they the Jews, where the help at? Where the brotherhood at?
And since they include risks to the Falashans and to those who are involved, I will not say more about it.
Well, I know that isn't true because I've been involved with this issue since 1955.
Dr. Granberger and other pro-Falasha activists argue that the Israeli government.
And y'all talking, man, look, man, if y'all can't see the scriptures say, let me go to it. Let me go to it. Revelation. Let's go to it. We got to identify, man, because these got to be, y'all need to do y'all research on these people who living over there in the land of Israel. It ain't for the common to find out, so I'm going to let y'all find that out. Let's go to it. For I know them that say they are Jews and are not, but the synagogue of Satan. The synagogue of Satan. I know them that say they are Jews but are not, but the synagogue of Satan. That's what you see going on. You ain't got to look around. It's right there in front of you. It's hidden in plain sight.
Has made only token efforts to save the Jews of Ethiopia.
And what I usually got was promises that something would be done one of these days when they could get around to it. But it never became even an item on the agenda of Israel. This was never on their agenda. There are members of the cabinet who contend that the issue was never raised in all the years that Israel was in power. It was dealt with by a few people, generally on a subordinate level, and left to them. But the point is that it had all been saved. I think there's deep guilt in the American and the world Jewish community about this problem. There's a guilt that has not yet been resolved.
Israel has an extraordinary record of helping Jews in distress reach Jerusalem. But the Falashas have been virtually ignored or forgotten.
If there is a brother, when you need him, when you are suffering, you need the brother at that time. That's the only thing. We survive without it.
See, the thing is, they trying to pull one on people. They'll move Ethiopians in, but they won't move real Jews in like a tribe of Falasha who say they the sons of Solomon, who they know got the real blood of the Jews in them. They won't move them in, but they'll move people who believe in Judaism, who are dark, who you would think were Hebrews, Israelites, but they're just Africans who believe in Judaism and believe in the culture. They'll move them in because they know they're not a threat, but they won't move in the people who actually have the blood of Israel in them. This is deep, fam.
Anybody in Ethiopia without any assistance. We thought we were the only Jews left in the whole world. But we were suffering all our life left there. Nobody speak for us. Nobody speak up for us.
Why, many are now asking, have Israel, major Jewish organizations, and Western governments ignored this tragedy for so long? Some feel that despite Ethiopia's alliance with the Soviet bloc, the West dreams of regaining this strategic site in the Horn of Africa and is unwilling to embarrass the Ethiopian government with charges of religious persecution. Dr. Berger and others claim that Israel has been practicing a policy of controlled immigration, avoiding helping the Falashas because they do not fit the government's perception of the type of people they want to populate their country. Whatever the reason, the brutal fact is that 20,000 Ethiopian Jews remain prisoners inside their country, and hundreds of Falashas, mostly children, are now dying in squalid border. Less than 40 years after the Holocaust, the world, even most Jews, have so far remained silent.
Yeah, it's a wrap, fam.
In refugee camp.
It's a wrap, fam. We gonna leave it on that, cause you know what I'm saying? These is our brothers and sisters over there, man. People need to open their mind up, man. Study to show yourself approved. How we finna prove that, man, before we get up out of here. I want everybody to go to Isaiah 11 and 11. This for, you know, any brother who believing in that chart that they using, but ain't fully read through the scriptures to understand things. It really don't make sense that everybody will be on the Western Hemisphere. It really wouldn't make sense that they took all the Hebrews into slavery to America and to Brazil. That they did, maybe they left some, maybe they missed some. Let's go to Isaiah 11 and 11, people. We tired of the foolery. And when I read off these places that Yeshua said that his people gonna be when he collect them, Jesus, it's gonna completely destroy the chart. Anybody could type it in, Ariah, you know what I'm saying, in the 12 tribe chart. The old man, I forgot his name Naphtali. He said he belonged to the tribe of Naphtali or whatever, but he said he was there when they made the lie. He said it was a dream he had, and we all know what the scripture said about men who have dreams and they ain't true. Men who have prophecies and they ain't true. Just like Johanna and all these leaders of these camps, Nathaniel 7, and all of these brothers out here who use, you know what I'm saying, false doctrine to mislead the brothers of Israel. Isaiah 11 and 11. And it shall come to pass that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt, from Pathros, and from Cush. Hold up now. They just said Cush. Do your research. We're in this documentary is about Ethiopia. That's Cush. My Elohim is coming to save my brothers and sisters. I don't know what Elohim you believe in. I don't know what scriptures you read. But my Elohim coming to save me in the land of the North in America, and he's also coming to save my brothers and sisters in Ethiopia, in Pathros, Assyria, and all these lands. Let's read it. We don't want to leave nobody out. He said Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. However y'all want to put it together, go look up the places. You can differentiate what you want to differentiate about the islands of the sea and where the people are of Israel. So we scattered to the four corners of the earth. The seed of Israel and the seed of David, which is the seed of Judah. The seed of Solomon, which is the seed of Judah. And Judah has been called to rise up. We've been called to rise up. I'm based Jerusalem. Until I see y'all again, family. Until I see y'all again. All praise to the Most High. It's the Hebrew life. We finna get up out of here. I want to go through one more thing with y'all, though. In the scriptures. I was finna get up out of here. We supposed to rule forever. Deuteronomy 28. It says, no, not Deuteronomy 28. Sorry, fam. Deuteronomy 7. Let's read. We've been promised greatness, people, but we got to come up out the curses. This is Deuteronomy 7 and 5. We're going to read. It says, but thus shall deal with them and shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Until the Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep his oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, and have the Lord brought you out of the mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the hand of the Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord thy Yah, he is Yah, the faithful Elohim, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them, and love him that keepeth his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face. Thou shalt therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command thee to this day. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if you hearken to these judgments and keep them and do them, the Lord God shall keep you unto the covenant and the mercy which he swore unto your fathers. He will love thee and bless thee and multiply thee. And he will also bless the fruit of thy womb and the fruit of thy land, thy corn, thy wine, thy oil, increase in kind, sheep, and the land which he swore unto your fathers to give thee. If we all keep, basically what I'm saying, family, what this whole thing was is our people out of order, our people out of balance. And if everybody get on one accord and follow the scriptures, then we'll be able to get these brothers up out of Kush in Ethiopia, and we'll be able to get ourselves out of this land and everywhere else our brothers are scattered that being treated like this, and get back into the land of Israel. I'm Base Jerusalem.